trip around the moon. Passing through 1,000 feet.
Splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown, waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts back on Earth. And the landing and support officer reports the vehicle is stable 1. We still will be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect bullseye splashdown for Integrity and its 4 astronauts. The unofficial splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m. Central Time. We'll get that refined for you. That would put the end of the mission at a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 35 seconds. And we're configuring for very low data rate. Once again, splashdown occurring in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego at 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m.
A student in custody after a weapon was found at school. It's a headline we hear all too often, especially over the last month. It's where we start tonight. I'm Kenesha Tees. After several recent reports of students bringing guns to school, some parents and even students themselves are saying they're worried about the recent uptick. Well, that increase has been seen in at least 4 recent incidents at North Alabama schools, one at Huntsville City Schools, another at Morgan County Schools, and 2 more in Madison County Schools, all within the last 30 days. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us what local law enforcement and school staff are saying about the need to keep everyone safe.
Several students have been caught with weapons at local schools over the last month in North Alabama, sparking concerns and raising questions about campus safety. 3 of those cases, all at Madison County Schools. First, weapons detection systems caught a student at Buckhorn Middle School bringing a gun to school in their backpack. Then, reports led authorities to the car of a student at Hazel Green High School, where they found a handgun, bullets, and a Glock switch. A fight at Grissom High School led authorities to find yet another student with a gun in their car just last week. And a 4th case in Morgan County saw reports of a gun at the Danville Middle School campus, the very day the district installed weapons detection systems.
An ounce of deterrence goes a long way. Our schools are safe. We have invested heavily into weapons detection devices, into trained security, into great partnerships with Huntsville PD. Partnerships with FBI. We are doing everything to make sure that our students are safe at all times. they also have to realize that this is going to be the bear that they fight the rest of their lives.
According to Huntsville City Schools board members and staff, that fight starts at home, continues all the way past detection systems, and goes into the classroom.
It's all of our job to keep students safe, and it starts at home, and it starts by making sure that children are not able to access weapons.
But if something does happen, Brent Patterson with the Madison County Sheriff's Office says authorities treat each report and incident with immediate action.
If you get caught with a gun, you're going to go to jail. And you're going to have issues within the school system. You're going to have problems within the court system and law enforcement. They're going to handle it in the courts. And hopefully you won't, we hope to find out what caused that person to bring a gun to school. Because there are some underlying issues there, and we need to know that. But that's no excuse. There is no excuse for you to bring a gun to school.
In each instance, authorities found the guns before they could ever reach the classroom, but they're still urging parents to teach children responsible gun safety and remind everyone to speak up when something seems off. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Students who have brought guns to school are currently awaiting court dates, but they could have a youthful offender status applied to their record if this is their only offense. A long vacant apartment complex in Huntsville could soon be forced to make repairs or even be sold as the city prepares to take the property owners to court. And now the community nearby is reacting to the newest development for the Serenity Apartments. City of Huntsville's ordinances say properties can be declared a public nuisance when they pose risks to health and safety, including unsafe buildings, trash, overgrown vegetation, and hazardous conditions like damaged fences or pools. Fox 54's Valentina Chalala was at the property to speak with nearby residents and a former tenant about how the dilapidated property is impacting the neighborhood.
The city says this property has been sitting like this for more than 2 years. Now a judge will decide if it's a public nuisance and what comes next. Court documents say the Serenity Apartments are in disrepair, with exposed wires, boarded up windows, and overgrown plants taking over the area. The city filed the lawsuit earlier this year, claiming the site poses a danger to the community. And this isn't the first time Lurin Real Estate Holdings, the company that owns the complex, has been in trouble in Madison County. The company has also been linked to issues at the Sutton Apartments in Madison, where residents were left without water for 8 days before being displaced. But Wanda Myers-Hines, who's lived in the area since 2015, says it wasn't always like this.
From the outside, it looked fairly well maintained. It was under construction a couple of years ago, and we were very hopeful because they had actually done a lot of work on it, and then for some reason it just stopped.
According to former tenant David Elliott, the property's issues date back years, after it was condemned in 2020 due to black mold and water found in electrical lines. The complex, then owned by Elevation Financial Group, was sold in 2021 to Lurin Real Estate Holdings for $13 million with promises of major renovations. But Elliott says conditions never improved, no one ever moved back in, and even after leaving, he was still charged for the remainder of his lease.
From the very moment that we moved in, it was just problem after problem. They acted as if I broke my lease, so now they have put it on my credit that I owe that and put me in the rent debt system, which has made it extremely hard for me to even get a new place at all.
Online, some former residents say the rent debt is also still on their credit, with a few people even saying the building should be demolished. Other nearby residents say the property has become an eyesore and a risk as the company faces financial troubles, even filing for bankruptcy. In Huntsville, I'm Valentina Chalala, Fox 54 News.
The trial is set for September 8th, where a judge will determine the next steps for the property. We reached out to the developers for comment, and we're waiting to hear back. An update on a story we brought to you first, and it's a good one for parents. Just days after Madison City Schools announced a tuition increase for the first class pre-K program, officials have decided to reverse that decision. The district returning to the original sliding scale, with tuition topping out at $300 a month. But leaders say operating a standalone center remains a financial challenge. Fox 54's Logan Alexander Russell explains how the funding works for these programs.
In a major turnaround for Madison families, the district has stepped in to save the sliding scale for pre-K tuition. Superintendent Dr. Ed Nichols says the ADECE has agreed to provide full funding for one more year, allowing the district to keep tuition between $0 and $300 without penalty. Nichols says the breakthrough came after working closely with the local legislative delegation to secure a budget waiver. Without it, the district faced a change in state formulas that could have cost the school system up to $50,000 per classroom. This one-year reprieve gives the district time to establish a funding task force, but he admits the initial communication surrounding the hike wasn't ideal.
I appreciate, their patience as we worked on this. I know that, I think, I wish personally, I wish we could have communicated earlier. And in the future, that's why we want to put a task force together so that we can make sure that before we get into the following year, parents kind of know where we are and what we're doing.
The Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education released a statement confirming they won't withdraw funding, saying the amended budget legislation has granted Madison City an additional year under a waiver for the 2026-2027 school year. While the sliding scale is secure for the upcoming year, the district will work on creating a task force which will evaluate long-term funding options. For now, families have until Friday to officially accept their pre-K placement. In Madison, Logan Alexandra Russell, FOX54 News.
If your child is selected in the lottery, keep a close eye on your inbox. The district says orientation details will be coming soon.
This Easter Sunday, a local organization brought back a tradition that dates back to the civil rights movement, Denim Sunday Cookout. The family reunion-style celebration honors members of the black community who wore denim on Easter Sunday to protest white-owned department stores. Then called Blue Jeans Sunday, the protest was created by Huntsville civil rights activist Dr. Sonny Hereford and took place right here in the Rocket City. The event today is revived by Lux Life Hospitality Group, an event catering business in the area. The group, in partnership with the Orion Amphitheater, brought today's event to life. We got the chance to speak with organizers on why today's cookout is so important.
We have our own hospitality group, which is called Lux Life Hospitality Group. And we, for the most part, coordinate events in the community. And this is one that we really wanted to push heavy.
So the origin of the event stems from civil rights movement back in civil rights times, specifically in Huntsville, Alabama. They boycotted department stores, and in solidarity, they wore blue jeans as part of that every Easter Sunday. So we just paying homage to that movement.
Local business owner Nolinda, when told about the history of today's events, she says she just wants to be a part of it and curate her own place in history.
I didn't know that this is my first year actually doing the event, to be like a vendor at the event, so this is actually my first year. So that's pretty dope to know. I feel great. I just want to be a part of it. For real, I want to be a part of it. I want to put a piece of it into everybody, coming from me, straight from my hands as well. So I'm trying to create my own history too,
Denim Sunday brings together food, music, and family for a rich and meaningful tradition. The cookout has gone on for 2 years, and organizers say they have hopes of expanding the event past the Rocket City.
Families, friends, and victims of gun violence came together at the Boys and Girls Club of North Alabama just this morning to raise awareness about the need to make a change. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us what the community is doing to end gun violence.
The Voices of Change Forum saw dozens of people who have been affected personally by gun violence, and they say it can break a family.
Anytime one of the kids that was my son's age died, it's like I relive it. Like it's that the grief, like it just come back. Like you reliving it all over again. You remember your phone call, you remember your trip to the hospital. It's like you replay the funeral in your mind. Like it's hard.
That's why one local mother who lost her son to gun violence is calling for change, saying laws across the country need some kind of reform to keep this from happening to someone else's child.
I just don't think 19-year-olds should be able to buy guns. Going to a funeral, that's like going to prom for some of these kids. Like some of them make it to several funerals and they never made it to a school dance. They never made it to prom and things of that nature. So funerals are a norm, and I just don't think that that's right.
Gun violence can affect anyone, even right here in Huntsville. In fact, event organizers call it an epidemic that's affecting our city, state, and the country as a whole.
It doesn't just affect the person that passes away from gun violence, it also affects the other individual and their families. So this goes two ways. You have two lives lost because of a reckless and senseless crime. So we have to think before we act, and we have to think and look towards greater.
Ellison also says the message is targeted toward the younger generation, which she says is often the most impacted by and responsible for violence in the community.
We want to get it out to the youth, for one, because we don't want to lose them. They're the ones that will be coming up behind us, taking care of us. And so if we don't have them, then what do we have? We have nothing.
According to those in the forum, the goal is to get people in the community to connect with one another and take action against gun violence as a group. In Huntsville, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
Organizers are also calling for more community programs and school events to keep a gun out of the younger generation's hands. They say even one death is too many.
The former St. John Elementary Schoolhouse in Morgan County bestowed an honor today after it was reduced to rubble by a fire back in February. Alumni and local residents came together to honor the school with a historic marker. St. John was a Rosenwald school, one of more than 5,000 entities funded by philanthropist Julius Rosenwald and designed by educator Booker T. Washington in the segregated South. Local historian Lynette Burton says this moment is meaningful for her and many others.
It means a lot to me, because we've worked so hard on this. We've worked years on this, just doing groundwork, boots on the ground, just doing a lot of research. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the alumni. And this is what I told them. I am only a vessel. I feel like God put me in this position. I have the resources, and I know the know-how to go and do the research. And so I felt like that this was just God's divine.
Wow, well, Senator Arthur Orr says he supported the community in getting this marker. He says he'll also work to help rebuild the very site where the school once stood.
If we can find a way to have a community type center or center of the community in a structure that's similar to the old school and the community wants it, it's my job to try to go find the funding and support such a project, because bringing community together and supporting citizens is certainly something we do in the legislature.
And he believes it's important to preserve history in Morgan County, and we'll be looking at ways to support that effort from Montgomery. The city of Decatur is partnering with a local nonprofit organization aimed at helping former inmates reconnect with the world, especially those struggling with opioid addiction. Fox 54's Gabe Glassman joins us live in studio. Gabe, you spoke with people who runs this organization. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, Kenesha, the Victorious Re-Entry Program helps former inmates get back on their feet. One of the ways they're doing is by providing re-entry housing for men looking to reconnect with society. The Decatur City Council will help fund the program for the next 3 years, helping with rent, outreach, and transportation costs. Executive Director Victoria Bell has a personal connection to this cause, and the organization has become a passion project for her.
This is a program for recovering addictions, men who have been addicted to drugs, alcohol, opiates, and this is a recovery home for them, also as well as men that are transitioning out that had addiction issues in prison.
Victoria Bell started the Victorious Reentry Program in 2024 after losing her brother Victor and her son's best friend Jordan. Both struggled with substance abuse. Her son was incarcerated and had a bad experience in a reentry home.
Between those three things, it was just my goal to do something different and to be able to have a place that they could go that was nice, clean, and that would provide the support that men need to stay clean.
Since the beginning of the program, the organization has helped a couple dozen men, providing education, recovery, and prevention services.
I worked in the prison for 12 and a half years at Limestone Correctional. As a social worker, I did re-entry there. So I worked with the men that had 6 months or less. And working with them, a lot of times you see them come back within a year or two.
Resolution number 26082, the Victorious Reentry Program Agreement.
At Monday night's Decatur City Council meeting, an opportunity to help bring roughly $370,000 to the program.
She showed that the programs that she offers, the support that she offers,
and she had people there to talk about it, and it just shows the impact that she can make on people's lives.
I just said that if I can provide a place where somebody can keep their loved one and not go through what I went through and possibly help them, then it's all worth it.
Roll call. Aye. Aye.
That roughly $370,000, which you just heard, was unanimously approved tonight, will be utilized over the next 3 years and will come from the city's opioid settlement funds. Live from the Fox 54 studios, I'm Gabe Glassman.
After nearly 2 months of construction, the Morgan County Courthouse is once again back open for business. But if you're planning a trip to the courthouse in the coming weeks, you might want to pack a little extra patience along with your paperwork. The 51-year-old building closed in mid-February to allow crews to overhaul aging infrastructure. But as Fox 54's Logan Alexandra Russell reports, while the doors are open, the work isn't over yet.
It has been a long road to this morning's reopening. This building, which was constructed in the 1970s, has been undergoing a facelift since February of 2025. From new heating and cooling systems to renovated bathrooms, the nuts and bolts of this building are finally catching up with modern day. While the power is back on and staff is back in their offices, the sound of hammers and drills isn't going away just yet.
We couldn't control the temperatures on each floor. They was just kind of, it was wore out, you know, anything when it gets that old. So they'll have, most of the rooms will have their own thermostats.
Commission Chairman Ray Long says that while the majority of the heavy lifting is done, finishing touches on the interior, including restroom renovations in the basement, are expected to continue through the next several weeks.
These structures started in 73, we moved in 75, 1975, and 88. I was right a law at the time, and it is now. And so we had 1 or 2 restrooms in the building prior to the shutdown. There were 88 compliant, but now all the restrooms should be 88 compliant.
For now, you will notice changes inside the building, like new flooring, waiting rooms, and newer restrooms. But officials say it's expected to be a few more weeks before the main Lee Street entrance reopens. Until then, you should use the Kane and Line Street lots for parking and enter through the second floor side entrance on Kane Street. Chairman Long says they appreciate the public's patience as they work to finish the remaining upgrades. Indicator Logan Alexandra Russell, Fox 54 News.
You can find a full list of new parking and entrance guidelines on our website, fox54.com. A new task force in Scottsboro is working to get drugs off the streets. It's the newest department initiative announced just this week. According to the Scottsboro Police Department, cleaning up the city is a top priority. To start, it'll have 2 officers and a K-9 unit to help out during regular patrols and drug investigations. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo shows us how the change in the department will help get dangerous drugs off Scottsboro streets.
The Scottsboro Police Department is forming a new unit dedicated to tackling illegal drug use in the city. The department has already assigned 2 officers and a K-9 to the unit, and they'll be working around the clock to get drugs out of the community. The officers will be out on patrol a lot of the time, but they'll also respond to calls when another officer is dealing with suspected drug use.
They're going to be out patrolling, and our other patrol guys, they make stops and they need a K-9. He'll be on call, he can come out. They'll retain information, pass information on my 2 drug guys to follow up.
In addition, K-9 AMP will work alongside the officers to detect any potential drugs or leftover residue. Scottsboro Police had officers handle drug-related cases before, but this is the department's first unit to go after those selling and distributing them. Chief Greg Godfrey says drug abuse is an epidemic in North Alabama, but they're forming this unit to try to get ahead of the problem.
Since I've become chief, that's been one of my objectives is to get back in drug enforcement, trying to keep the drugs out of our kids' hands. I mean, you got drug sellers, they're going to sell to anybody to buy from them. So we're going to eradicate the city of drugs. That's my goal. You'll never put a stop to it, but you put a dent in it.
I understand that what they're trying to do is clean the city because it is an epidemic here.
John St. Clair is an artist from Scottsboro who says he used to have a problem with drug addiction, but he's been clean for 3 years. He's using that platform to rap about coming clean from drugs, and he has this message for people who are also struggling with drug abuse.
Learn how to have a bad day. As an addict, we want to have a blast all the time. Learn how to have a bad day and delay the gratification.
Scottsboro police are urging anyone who knows about drug activity to report it to the department's website or over the phone. Chief Godfrey says all tips are anonymous. In Scottsboro, I'm Caleb Aguayo, Fox 54 News.
If you want to learn more about the new unit and reporting suspected drug activity in your neighborhood, go to fox54.com. Dr. Ed Nichols, the superintendent for Madison City Schools, announced last night that he's stepping down from the position for his retirement. It comes after 38 years in public education and a 6-year tenure as the superintendent over the Madison City Schools District. In that time, he oversaw the construction of 3 new schools, several facility renovations and upgrades, and the groundbreaking of the Russell Branch Elementary School opening this fall. It's a decision Nichols says is bittersweet, but he adds he's leaving the district in a good spot.
Thank you. I appreciate the board that allowed me to come here 6 years ago. I've been blessed far more than I could bless anybody else. The system's in a great place. We've secured funding for the future. We're getting ready to do a 5-year capital plan that'll add some buildings. I kind of felt like the district might need somebody new to kind of carry those through.
Well, congratulations to Mr. Nichols. He also has some parting words to leave with the next superintendent, whoever it may be.
It's a 24/7 job. It never shuts off. It never sleeps. That's probably part of my DNA. I would encourage anybody that gets the job to learn how to not be like that. Probably be the best thing. We're in an age where people think everybody ought to make the right decision. The coach ought to win the game. They ought to make the right call all the time. We're all human. And so it's okay to take a step back. It's okay to say, I'm sorry. It's okay to try to do something different.
The school board's attorney, Woody Sanderson, says Nichols' last day is June 30th. But the rehiring process may see Nichols placed into an interim position while they look for another candidate. Reading is fundamental, and one parent says this teacher helped make her son an avid reader. I've also heard this educator brings warmth to her classroom, which explains her name. Meet this week's Fox 54's top teacher, Summer Hyatt from Arab Primary School. Meet second grade ELA and social studies teacher.
What do they do at the Olympics?
Summer Hyatt.
You're going to write 2
Hyatt is
rules
back
for your event. And
where she started.
I was actually in second grade in this room, so I've grown up here and I've loved it.
And this time, she also loves it as a teacher at Arab Primary School.
I've always grown up wanting to be a teacher. I loved my teachers growing up. You know, it was always a constant for me in my life.
Hyatt says she found her purpose here.
I was really open to anything as long as it was younger grades because I knew that's what I wanted. And I feel like God just put me exactly where I needed to be. And I found my passion and I found my people.
And while carrying out her purpose, her goal is to make reading fun.
Right now we're reading Magic Treehouse Hour of the Olympics, and so our unit is learning all about the Olympics. And after they read this chapter, we're going to make our own Olympic games, and they're going to be drawing and writing what the rules are and how they win the game.
Principal Emily Hembry says it's this environment that invites her students to engage and learn.
She is loving. She definitely holds them accountable, though. You heard them say she makes them do their work, which is expected, obviously, but she is very loving and kind and always looking to improve her craft and make sure her students succeed.
And for Hyatt,
oh, that'd be cool.
She wants all of her students to succeed like she did in this very classroom where she was once a student.
I want people to pour into my kids just like how I pour into them, and so I treat them like they're my own and love them like they're my own. So it's very special.
Congratulations, Summer Hyatt. Check out the moment she was surprised as a Fox 54 top teacher on Fox 54 Plus. Also nominated deserving teacher on fox54.com.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates, featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime warrior style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look, to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.
There's more to Fox 54 Plus with the Locked On Podcast Network. From the Tide to the Tigers, from college teams to pro. The Locked On Podcast Network gives you insights and analysis you just can't find anywhere else.
These kids, they want to play.
But I don't think so. I think it was Chad Baker Mazzara.
Locked On Sports, streaming every day of the week and right here on Fox 54 Plus.
County 911, what's the address of your emergency room? Okay, your wife is in a bar, you said she's unresponsive?
This is what he's going to tell you. How to get out of that situation.
And I grabbed the gun.
Trying to find the first place to put a body.
No, sir. The only thing they could do was kill him.
You want to say anything?
We, the jury, and to find the defendant